Imagine this. You have prepared for all the classic interview questions. Tell me about yourself. What's your biggest weakness? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? You have rehearsed your answers. You're feeling confident. You're ready to go. But what if I told you the single question most likely to sink your chances isn't on any of those standard lists? It's a type of question designed to be a trap, and it's so subtle that most candidates walk right into it without ever knowing what hit them. Today, I'm going to show you how to spot it, understand the psychology behind it, and turn what could be a deal breaker into one of your strongest moments in the entire interview. I have sat on interview panels where the final hiring decision linked to the candidate's answer to just one of these questions. See, there is a category of questions hiring managers use, not really to learn about your experience, but to see how you react when the right answer isn't so obvious. These are not those weird brain teasers like how many golf balls fit in a jar. And they are not the personal questions about your family you know how to dodge. This is something far more dangerous because it sounds like a totally reasonable, everyday behavioral question. Think of it like a fisherman's temptation. I call this the negative hook question. It's any question that invites you or even tempts you into saying something negative about a past job, a former boss, a tricky colleague, or a project that went wrong. Questions like, so, why are you looking to leave your current role? Tell me about the time you disagreed with your manager. Or, describe a conflict you had with a colleague. On the surface, they seem fair. But the real test has nothing to do with the story you tell. As an interviewer, I can tell you we are not that interested in the disagreement in the team. What we are really testing is the human psychology of how you frame your past. We are asking ourselves, will you take the hook? Will you complain? Will you blame someone else? Or will you prove you a resilient, positive professional who can handle a challenge with grace? A client of mine once called me in a panic after an interview for his dream job. He said, I think I blew it. He was asked about a time a project failed, and he said he actually vented. He blamed his old company's outdated technology and a difficult stakeholder. He thought he was just being honest, but he walked right into the trap. Answering this question feels like walking a tightrope in a windstorm. Lean too far one way by giving a vague, sensitized answer, and you sound vague. But lean too far the other way by telling the honest truth, and you come across as bitter, difficult, or someone who just doesn't take ownership. You might end up saying something like, well, my last boss and I just had different working styles. He was really micromanaging, so I never got the direction I needed, and projects were always chaotic. Even if that's 100% true, what the interviewer hears is a blaming alarm. They don't hear different working styles. They hear this person blames their manager for failure. They need a lot of hand-holding, and they will probably complain about me just like this in their next interview. You have taken the hook, you focused on the negative, You placed the blame elsewhere and you just raised a massive red flag. So, how do you escape this trap? You don't ignore the question and you don't fight in it head on. You use a little professional Aikido. In Aikido, you redirect an opponent's energy instead of meeting it with force. That's what you do here. You take the negative energy of the question and redirect it to showcase your strengths. Here is the 3-step framework that will turn this trap into your biggest opportunity. The first step is to acknowledge and reframe. First, acknowledge the core of the question, but reframe the specific negative situation as a common, understandable business challenge. Instead of a fight with a coworker, it becomes a difference in professional opinion. This shows you are mature and see the bigger picture. Step 2. Turn to your positive action and learning. This is the Aikido move. Immediately pivot the focus away from the problem and onto your actions. What did you do? How did you handle it constructively? What did you learn? This shifts the story from blame to proactivity and growth. Step 3. Connect to the future. Finally, bring it home. Connect what you learned directly to the job you are interviewing for. Explain how that experience made you a better candidate and how you will bring that wisdom to their company. Let's run through an example. The question is, tell me about a time you disagreed with a decision made by your manager. The bad answer, taking the hook. Oh, easy. Last year, my manager decided to put our whole marketing budget into this old school print and campaign. I told him it was a huge mistake and we needed to go digital. I even showed him the data, but he didn't listen. He was totally stuck in his ways. The campaign flopped and I was proven right. It was just so frustrating. Let's break down why that's so bad. It's blaming game, negatively, and an ego. I was proven right. It makes you sound arrogant and like you would be a nightmare to manage. You have failed the test. The good answer, using the formula that I provided before, is step 1. Acknowledge and reframe. That's a great question. In any dynamic company, it's natural for passionate people to have different perspectives on the best path forward. There was an instance where my manager and I had a different strategic view on a major marketing campaign. The final decision was to learn to move traditional strategy, while my analysis was pointing toward a stronger focus on digital channels. See that? No blame, no drama. It's a professional difference in a strategic view, not a personal fight. Step 2. Shift to your positive action and learning. My role, as I saw it, was a fully support the team's final decision while also mitigating my potential risk. So I committed 100% to executing the traditional campaign to the best of my ability. In parallel, I put together a small-scale, low-cost digital pilot program to gather data for the future. As it turned out, the data from my pilot was incredibly valuable and helped inform our strategy for the next quarter, where we blended both approaches for a much stronger result. The focus is all on your positive, proactive work. You are not a critic, you were a problem solver. Step 3. Connect to the future. The experience really drove home the importance of committing to a unified team direction, while still finding constructive ways to test and innovate. I noticed in the job description that the team values both execution and new ideas, and I think my ability to balance those two things would let me contribute here from day one. This answer completely sidesteps the trap. You sound diplomatic, proactive, and like a true team player. You have turned a question designed to sniff out negatively into a powerful story about your professional maturity. If this strategy just gave you a light blob moment, do me a quick favor and hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. I'm always sharing insider tips like this so you are never caught off guard in an interview again. It helps the algorithm, and more importantly, it helps you. Remember, an interview isn't just a skills checklist, it's a psychological screen. Having been on the other side of the table, I know that interviewers need to see if you can think strategically and keep your cool under pressure. The negative hook question is just the most deceptive test of that character because it depends to be a simple request for a story. By refusing to take the bait and using the knowledge shift connect framework, you are not just answering a question, you are demonstrating the exact kind of high level emotional intelligence that every company wants to hire. You are showing them you are not a source of problems, but a solver of them. And that is how you win the job.